Hello, everyone, and welcome into Three Putt Golf Show. I am your host, Victor Herrera. What an amazing Masters tournament we had. It had everything we wanted: excitement, heartbreak, and Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods made his return back to competitive golf, and although it didn't end how a lot of people wanted it to, it was nice to see him back and see him fully commit to another tournament, which we'll get to here in a bit. I want to stay with Tiger Woods. I'll go ahead and talk about him right now. Tiger Woods, I didn't expect him to come in and truly be competitive. Yes, he did have practice rounds. Yes, he was saying that he could win, and in his mind, I'm sure he did. But let's face it, all his practice rounds were 9 holes. There were never in 18 consecutive holes, and he never really walked as much as he did until that first day on the tournament, in which you saw him starting to get tired at the end. By the second day, on the back 9, you had a really good feeling that Tiger Woods was tired. You had a really good feeling that he might not be able to do what I hope and want him to. I know, looking at him going into Saturday before his round, I was wondering, is Tiger Woods capable of pulling this out? The look on his face, it was kind of one of them looks like, well, he looks hurt, for one. Secondly, he looks also kind of like he's determined, like he knows what he needs to do, and he's going to pull one of them Tiger Woods moments, and he's going to go 4 under today. And wow, we're going to be talking about him being in really good shape to compete on Sunday. That's not the case. His score slowly, gradually got higher and higher throughout the weekend, finished 13 over. But he competed. He made the cut, which I figured he would. I figured that first day he would play well enough to make the cut. And seeing how people were playing the first day, I was like, oh, this cut line is going to be pretty big. And +4 is pretty good. +4 is a good cut where you should make the cut. Now, there were some notables that didn't, such as Jordan Spieth. He did not make the cut. Bryson DeChambeau did not make the cut. There were some interesting names that just didn't even get a chance to compete. But seeing Tiger Woods compete out there was really nice. It was really exciting. You get him out there on the golf course, and it's like, wow, especially in that azalea color shirt on the first day. I was like, dang, this dude looks good. And then I don't care how he was doing Sunday. I know that he had a little bit of trouble throughout the round, but Sunday red with them black pants, with them black shoes, just looked absolutely amazing and nice to see on the golf course once again by Tiger. Although there was a lot of times where it just didn't feel right, his 4-putt in round 3, I believe, and him even saying, man, I feel like I'm practicing putting, just hitting way too many putts. He showed some signs of some greatness and some memories of what we remember him for, not just in the Masters, but like the year when he won all the majors in 2000, 2001. And staying with that, the irons that he used sold for over $5 million this past weekend, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it's crazy. It definitely is something amazing to have in a collection. It's definitely something just nice to have to sell like that. It's like basically winning the lottery. But there was a lot of good things to come of Tiger Woods and his time at Augusta this weekend. And although there is the bad, I choose to look at the good. And it's nice to know we don't know if he's going to compete in the PGA Championship, which is at Southern Hills in Oklahoma this year. But he's already committed to the Open at St. Andrews. He said he's playing. That's his favorite golf course to play in, and he will be there. So that's exciting as a golf fan, knowing that you're going to see Tiger Woods playing another major this year. Yes, it's going to be in the summertime, but you know what? It's going to be awesome to see him getting out there and compete again this year. Speaking of Southern Hills, it is a golf course where he has won before, and he's had success. So I'm not for sure they're going to give us some time. It may be one of them game time decisions that Tiger made famous by this past week at the Masters, but we hope that we get to see him. We definitely want to see more of the big cat, but it was nice to see him and nice to see the crowds he draw. He's still a crowd favorite. He's still very competitive, very, very competitive. And that's what you like to see. But I will say, you saw a side of Tiger that was nice. I mean, he was actually interacting with some of the fans at some point. That's not a side of Tiger that you've ever seen. Honestly, it's all business, just business, business. And that was ingrained in his head as a baby, as a child by his father. Business is strictly business, but to see him have fun. And I really think his son has something to do with it. Like, he wants to be there for his son and show his son that, yeah, he still got it. He can still do it. Now going over to the Masters tournament as a whole, there were some really, really good showings, and there was some really, really bad showings. My man, Tony Finau, he kind of in the middle, I guess. He played decent he played good the first day, decent the second, kind of like another Tiger Woods. It just kind of ate him up. Then ended up getting an eagle to help his score somewhat on the final round of the tournament, but it was nowhere near enough. Now jumping to JJ Spawn, who won the Valero Open, which I got to attend. And this dude, I'm not going to lie, he kind of made some fans out of this weekend. He was able to get it done in a way that not many people thought he could, especially at the beginning. He was, I won't say being made fun of in the beginning, but he definitely was having a little bit of issues by not being able to make par and having a hard time with the many bogeys he was getting. But he was able to salvage his round the first round, and he was able to salvage it the second round, and he was able to finish with a decent score. He got to play all 4 rounds at Augusta, his first time ever being there. You can't get any better than that. Now, what I will talk about is my 3 that I had picked as my favorite. Siwoo Kim, he just got behind from the get. The first day ate him up. He was part of the group that kind of got out there right before the tide of the course started changing and the scores started getting low in the afternoons. It was kind of right there in the middle where the course was still playing wet and very difficult. And kind of just getting behind at that first part of the first 9 of the first round was very difficult for him to overcome. You know, he did the same thing in his final round at the Valero Open. He got behind early and then came back and had a strong back 9. And that's kind of what he did in a way, but it just wasn't enough. Victor Hovland, he just did not hit the right shots that he wanted to. He was, again, part of the ones that played with the course was the most difficult, I feel, and could not get anything to stick on the green. I mean, these greens had massive slopes. The very first day, the whole location on hole 4 was absolutely brutal. We saw a guy putt it up, not make it to the top of the ridge line, and it came right back down to his feet. That is not something that you want to see. That's not something you want to feel, especially during the middle of a Masters tournament. And Cam Smith was in contention. The first day, I felt like it was going to come back and bite him, and it did. The first day, when he double bogeyed his first hole, then had 8 birdies, and then double bogeyed his second hole, only to finish 4 under, man, I was like, that's going to do it. And sure enough, I mean, that's not all what did it. There were some other factors, but that was a big part as to kind of what wrote the weekend for him. Him not being able to have that consistency and not ride that 8 birdies how he had that first round, and just have to be like, dang, man, I opened with a double and then I bounced back and got to 600, and then dang, I closed with a double. And then kind of just played mediocre the whole rest of the way up until that last round. He started off red hot and then he lost it. Like birdie, birdie, bogey, bogey. Like, wow, there's that deflation. I really thought he was going to put the pressure on Scheffler to begin with. I really felt like he was going to get it done and he was going to put the foot on the throat and make Scheffler, who hasn't been experienced in those settings, hadn't won a tournament until this year. I really thought he was going to put pressure on him, and Scheffler just settled in. Speaking of Scheffler, before I leave Cam Smith, hole 12, absolutely blew it. A triple bogey whenever Scheffler played the easy play, didn't even bring water into a play, but I get it. Cam Smith needed to be aggressive. He needed to go at the flag. He couldn't take a chance of just hitting the green and two putting for a par and tying that hole. So I understand it, but that's kind of what did it for Smith. Once that happened, you kind of knew, like, okay, well, it's Scheffler's to lose now. But Smith definitely did somewhat of a good job controlling his emotions. He still showed it a little bit towards the end, but he was able to finish strong and able to make some good putts down the way. Now the winner, Scottie Scheffler, oh man, what a time to be him. He goes from 70 starts in the PGA Tour to no wins, and then now he has 4 wins this season and a major, which is the Masters. I mean, what a day to be Scottie Scheffler. What a year to be Scottie Scheffler. And 2 words, a name. Ted Scott is the man to thank for that. Ted Scott was the caddy for Bubba Watson when Bubba Watson won twice at Augusta. So that makes Ted Scott this being his 3rd time to win Augusta. Pairing such a veteran caddy with such a young, impressive striker of the ball in Scottie Scheffler. Now, he's an impressive striker of the ball. His footwork, on the other hand, is not. If you were to try to teach somebody his footwork, you'd probably end up hurting him. And that's exactly what John Rahm said when he was asked about Scottie Scheffler's footwork. But never mind the footwork. If you can just strike the ball and put it where your caddy tells you to, then it's in cruise control. And that's basically what we saw at Augusta this weekend. We saw Scottie Scheffler in cruise control getting it done. It was very nice to see. It was very interesting to see him just kind of, hey, caddy's telling me to put it here. I'm going to just put it there and trust what he has to say. And that's where the experience from having Ted Scott really paid off. Scottie and Ted Scott coming together was the best thing that happened to Scottie Scheffler's game. He was ranked the number 1 leading in, and winning the Masters, he just proved that he is the number 1 golfer. The only other one to do that was Tiger Woods. He solidified everything that people wanted to know about, is Scottie Scheffler real? Is he for reals a number 1 contender on the PGA Tour? And is he really the number 1 golfer in the world? And him doing it, aside from 4-putting the 18th when he had a 5-stroke lead, aside from that, Scottie Scheffler did it. He did enough to win, and he won by a good amount of strokes. Now, although Scottie Scheffler won, I would be remiss of my duties if I did not tell you that Rory McIlroy, oh my gosh, have yourself a day, guy. You did such an amazing job, especially holding it out with Colin Morikawa. They both hold out on the last hole on what people said was an impossible shot by Rory McIlroy. He holed out of the bunker on the right side, and it was amazing. Seeing him with that energy and that excitement, all he needs is a green jacket to win the Grand Slam. That's all he needs. I believe he can get it done. And him having that confidence, him having that success that he did, posting his best score ever at Augusta, I think next year is going to be very interesting. This is going to be the storyline next year heading into Augusta. It's going to be how he was able to post his lowest score, and will he be able to ride that confidence? But he's going to have to wait a year, because right now it is Scottie Scheffler's year, and he will be the new host of the Champions Dinner next year when we get to go back to Augusta. This week, our attention turns to the RBC Heritage. We go from the green jacket to the plaid jacket. Now, I'm excited to announce that here at Legacy Maker Sports Network, we are now part of the PGA Tour mailings list. So this is our first time having tournament notes heading into the season, and not just ones I'm able to kind of draw up last second. I mean, with work and family, these are some really good notes I'm very interested about and very happy to have, because now I'm able to give you another look into the tournaments, and as the tournaments progress, kind of give you more information about the tournament. So here at the RBC Heritage, Stuart Sink had himself a day at Augusta. He was able to win a hole-in-one. Now, not win the tournament, but he was able to win that specific hole because he was the only one to have a hole-in-one at Augusta. What made it more interesting was his son was his caddy, and made it that much more better that, like, you got to have a father-son moment at Augusta and got to see and be a part of a hole-in-one with his son. Now, the purse leading into this week is $8 million, with the winner taking $1.4 million of that, plus the 500 points to the FedEx Cup. Now, Stuart Sink was the previous winner and last year, so he'll be the one defending the plaid jacket this year. There's 42 of the 90 that played at Augusta that will be competing this week. Some notables that are not in the field: Tiger Woods, of course. Tiger Woods will probably be seeing just at major events. But another one is our local favorite, Tony Finau. Tony Finau will not be here. Neither will Abraham Ainser, who is living in San Antonio at the moment. They will not be here and compete for this plaid jacket. I do have a couple that I want you to kind of keep an eye on. These guys have killed it at this tournament. Colin Morikawa has played this tournament twice, and he has scored in the top 10 one time. So he's 50 for 50 being in the top 10. Cameron Smith, he's always somebody to look at every tournament. I know he didn't play good, and that's probably why he's coming here, because he needs to have a good outing. He needs to prove that he can do what he did at the Players' Championship. He's played here 6 times, but I've only had 1 top 10. And then Justin Thomas has played here 3 with 1 top 10. But the guy that I'm picking as my favorite, and holy heck am I excited to see him play this course, that is Patrick Cantlay. Patrick Cantlay has played the RBC Heritage 4 times, and he has collected 3 top 10 finishes. That is huge. When you get down here and you play in these tournaments and you're able to find one that, hey, I'm consistent, then for my betting friends out there, hey, he's consistent with this tournament. He is very consistent. He knows he's consistent, and he plays with that confidence when he plays the RBC. He's going to be able to get it done. A quick look at like kind of other ones to think about. Colin Morikawa got his top 10 finish last year as he finished tied for 7th. And Harold Varner III also tied for 2nd. I mean, Stuart Sink played really well and won by 4 shots. But that means that these guys are going to be playing really good, and the scores should be low. I mean, you would think to win, you're going to have to average at least 4 or 5 under a day. So whoever can hit that mark the first day and the second day is going to be very interesting, because they're going to be on pace to have a really good shot at this tournament. Now, if you don't hit that mark and you're only able to scramble a 1 under type of day, you're definitely going to put yourself back. It seems like a course that is very easily to score on. It's a total of 7,191 yards, and the par is 71. It definitely seems that it is a good course to score on, but it's also a course that if you kind of slip up and take it easy, it will definitely get at you and make you hurt in a hurry. Now, one thing I will say, my favorite is Patrick Cantlay, but my dark horse for this tournament is going to be Harry Higgs. And I say Harry Higgs because he played really well at the Masters. He had a really good showing, and he's been playing good for quite some time. It is about time he's able to make something happen, and it's about time he gets his first win on the tour. And a little quick side note for you, we have 9 first-time winners on tour right now. That is the most so far throughout a season that there's ever been. So if Harry Higgs is able to get his win here, he will be the 10th first-time winner on tour this season, and we will start collecting records and start really seeing at how many first-time winners we can see. For the Champions Tournament at the beginning of the season, there's going to be a lot of new faces and new names to look at because of these new first-time winners. But thank you for watching 3 Putt Golf Show. I appreciate bringing you the 3 Putt Golf Show. Check us out on TikTok under Victor Sports Talk, as I will be giving updates on the tournament, kind of giving you a look into how I'm reading the tournament. Check out Legacy Maker Sports Network for all your sports needs: football, basketball, soccer, and NASCAR and golf. We have it all for you. Until next time, remember, 3 Putt Golf Show is here for you and will bring you all your golf knowledge.